everybody. I can't hear anything. I don't know what's going on. Let me just double check real quick and make sure that y'all can hear me. Let me see. No, the mic isn't muted. Hold on one second, friends. Let's just remove this. Yeah, I don't know why y'all can't hear me. 1 second, friends, and I will get to the bottom of this. I just got to make sure that y'all can hear me. Or not, because maybe you can, and everything's fine. I'm about to find out right now. Let me see. Where am I? Anywho, I hope everybody's doing okay. It says I'm live. I can see that I'm live. Let's see if y'all can hear me. Yeah, I don't know why y'all can't hear me. I couldn't hear me. Okay, hey. It sounds like I'm live and y'all can hear me. Okay, I think everything's fine. I am having a little bit of technical difficulties. Oh, there we go. I'm just going to keep it like this because I don't know why it's doing that. Okay, we're going to remove this. Get that out of the way. All right. And then I'm going to remove this completely. Boom. Okay, and I don't know what's going on with the background and everything, friends. But what would it be a show without some technical difficulties? No, it would not be. We're just going to go with the flow. Let me see where my presentation is. So welcome to Lovely from the Library, Lovely's virtual book club. Let me go on and re-add this, y'all. I have no idea what's happening here, but we're gonna keep going with the program. So today we are going to be talking about Direct Descendant by Tanya Huff. Let's pull that up. How about that? There we go. There we go. Okay. Let's just do this. I'm gonna do this. There we go. Bam, 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 bam. Okay, I'm gonna check one last time and then we're gonna get started because I don't want to be talking for God knows how long and y'all can't even hear me. I apologize for the technical difficulties. But like I said before, what would it be without a few technical difficulties? There we go. Bam, 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 bam. Okay, I'm going to check one last time and then we're going to get started. Okay, it sounds like everything's going well. Okay, that works for me. Let me see if I can't do something to make myself... Well, no, let's go back to that. Let's try one last thing. Okay, I think... There we go. There we go. Okay, friends, thank you so much for your patience as usual. Pardon me. Welcome live stream viewers. Thank you to the replay viewers. Today we are going to be discussing Direct Descendant by Tanya Huff. So Direct Descendant falls into what we would call a cozy genre, or excuse me, well, it is a cozy genre. It's cozy horror genre. So that's basically like books with spooky vibes that don't have intense conflict or have quick resolutions. I'm going to try one more thing. Now that's just going to show the ugly old green screen. It's ugly, but it's functional. I mean, it does what it needs to do, doesn't it? Let's try this one as well. I think there's picture within picture. Okay, now it's giving me a few options. Good, because I need to flip back and forth. Like, that looks okay. I think I want to do this. Oh, I like this one. Okay, I like this one because I don't know what's going on with the green screen. Anywho, okay, so Direct Descendants or Direct Descendant falls in the cozy horror genre. So that's like books with spooky vibes that don't have intense conflict or they solve that stuff very quickly. Some other books that you might be more familiar with in the cozy horror genre are The Saturday Night Ghost Club by Craig Davison, The Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying by Grady Hendrix, to Slaying Vampires by Grady Hendrix. Also, How to Sell a Haunted House by the same author. Another one that you guys might be aware of is We Have Always Lived in the Castle by Shirley Jackson. So just to let you know, this genre has been around for a while, and it has a lot of people who enjoy it, and it's perfect for people like me who are scary. Honey, I am scary. I don't want to read nothing scary. I don't want to watch scary movies, and here I am reading scary things and talking to you about scary books. Well, I guess I'm not gonna call myself a liar, but maybe I wasn't telling y'all the whole truth. Now what I'm trying to do right here is I am trying to share this live stream. Here we go. Because that's one thing I forgot to do. Up. Let me quit that. It's on a little bit of a delay. So now I'm fixing to share this live stream. Let's see. How do we do this? Y'all know I forget this every time because I don't be on Facebook unless I'm doing this. And that's it. I think I have to go to my page. Hold on one second, y'all. Here we go. Look who's learning how to share after 5 years of doing this. Me. Somebody else shared it. Thank you, somebody who had already shared that. You're the best person in the land. Well, let's see. Let me just do this voice thing real quick. Hey, y'all, come and listen and discuss with me the book Direct Descendant by Tanya Huff. Okay, there. Now that part is done. It's 7 minutes into this, and I'm just getting it a chill. Anyway, okay. So, let's take a moment now that I've done all I need to do. Let's take a moment so we can talk a bit about Tanya Huff. And then I am also going to make this bigger because I can. Hold on. What the heck? Where'd I go, y'all? Where'd I go? Let's hit cancel because I don't know what that's about. I'm just trying to make this bigger. Oh, hello. Click. It's supposed to be bigger on my screen. That's okay. Y'all are probably doing just fine. It's weird for me, but that's okay. All right, so let's talk a little bit about Tanya Huff. So, Tanya Huff lives in rural Ontario with her wife, Fiona Patterson. She's also a writer. 5 cats and an increasing number of fish. Her 32 novels and 83 short stories include horror, heroic fantasy, urban fantasy, comedy, and space opera. Her Blood books were turned into the 22-episode TV series Blood Ties, and writing episode 9 allowed her to finally use her degree in radio and television arts. Many of her short stories are available as e-collections. She's on Blue Sky as Tanya Huff, .bluesky.social, and Facebook as Tanya Huff. She has never used her Instagram account and isn't quite sure why she has it. She's also pretty dang funny. Okay, so that is just a little bit about Tanya Huff, who is our intrepid writer. This is our narrator. As per usual, I listened to the audiobook. And this is our narrator, Savannah Thomas. She did an excellent job. I was really impressed with her. Hold on a second, friends. Let me get my stuff together. Okay, let me tell you a little bit about Savannah Thomas. All right, Savannah is an audiobook narrator who adores working with publishers and production houses alike to bring more incredible stories to people's earbuds. She records all types of genres, but her absolute favorites are romance, fantasies, and thrillers. And she has a soft spot for complicated characters. And she has a soft spot for complicated characters and stories that tear your heart out before putting it back together. That was a tongue twister, but Savannah did an amazing job. And I'm so glad she was our narrator along for the ride because I was really happy to read the books or listen to her as I did a tandem read as well. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about what this book is actually about. I'm going to read the flap to you, the inside of the cover, and then we'll get on with it. I'm trying to, do I need to do this? No, I don't need to do that. I don't want a new layout. Ciao. I want to maximize. It will not maximize, y'all. I don't know what's happening. Nope. Okay, that is neither here nor there. I'm going to quit messing with that because that's just a oh, you know what? Because it's just a distraction. Okay, so let's read this flag. Generations ago, the founders of the idyllic town of Lake Argent made a deal with a dark force. In exchange for their service, the town will stay prosperous and successful and keep outsiders out. And for generations, it's worked out great, until a visitor goes missing, and his wealthy family sends a private investigator to find him, and everything abruptly goes sideways. Now Cassidy Prewitt, town baker and part-time servant of the dark force, it's a family business, has to contend with a rising army of darkness, a very frustrated town, and a very cute PI who she might just be falling for, and who might just be falling for her. If they can survive their own homegrown apocalypse, they might even just find happiness together. Queer, cozy, and with a touch of eldritch horror mixed in just for fun, this is a charming love story about a small town baker, a quick-witted PI, and yes, an ancient evil. So, that is, let me pop my little head back in here. That's what this book is about. Let me pop my big head back in here. There we go. That's what this book is about. I had such a wonderful time reading it. Let me see where we're going next for a second, friends, here. So, let's go over some of the themes that we're going to be covering. Some of the themes that we're going to be covering today are betrayal, class divide, community, sacrifice, acceptance, transphobia, truth and reconciliation, death, and the other. Okay, so, ooh, can y'all see me? There we go. I can't even, what did Beyonce say about putting blue lights on black girls? That is not a blue light, Beyonce. Anywho, so this book was super, super amazing. I really had a good time. Direct Descendant is kind of an ode to a series called Widdershins. It's by Jordan L. Hawk. I happen to have read that series, so I really like this book. And as I was reading the critiques for this book, I think some of the people who had critiques for this book, I'll get into that a little bit later, but I think because I read the source material and I was the target audience, I really, really love this book. I think sometimes people just don't, sometimes they don't get it that, you know, maybe some things are not for them, and if you're used to being centered all the time, then it can be a little bit hard for you to grasp why certain things are going certain ways, but I digress. Oh, here we go. Let's talk a little bit about some of the recognition that this book has gotten. It only came out in 2025. It's really good, but it has, it's only a year old. So anyway, let's see here. It was Goodreads 117 cozy books for fall reading in 2025. It was new and notable from Locust in June of 2025. It was, let's see, what is this? From Reactor, all the horror and romantasy and other SFF or sci-fi fantasy crossover books arriving in April. So there was a lot, I'm not reading everything, but there was a lot of good things to say, a lot of discussion about this book. And speaking of discussion, let's get back into what we're going to be talking about. So let's see, where are we? Okay, so here's the other thing. Y'all need to see my face for this. Here's the other thing. So this, both books, the Direct Descendants and the Widdershin books, are a nod to eldritch horrors, and you cannot talk about eldritch horrors without speaking about H.P. Lovecraft. And my goodness, y'all, if y'all didn't know about that wicked, wicked man, that wicked, wicked man was very, very racist. H.P. Lovecraft was so racist that the other races was like, hey, man, hey, you might want to tone it down a little bit. You're doing too much. The other racists told H.P. Lovecraft he was doing too much. Now, if you are too racist for racists, and I'm talking about Klan, or everyday people, but I'm talking about the Klan. If you're too racist for them, come on, man, you probably doing a little bit too much. Matter of fact, if you do not believe me, Google what was H.P. Lovecraft's cat's name. Go on and Google it. I'll wait. Did you Google it? Okay, now you know how bad he was. That was even worse. It was 10 times worse. He's got secret journals and everything. Well, not secret journals, but he has journals where he extorts how he doesn't like women, doesn't like immigrants, doesn't like black people, doesn't like gay people. He was just a miserable, miserable man. Anywho, so my point being is, why are there so many interpretations by the very people who this man hated? Why are they all up in his short stories and making all kind of things about it? So, as per usual, look, y'all, I did a little research. There's the back of some of my notes. I did a little research, and that a part of what is going on, because I needed to know, it's called reparative reading. Let me get to the little section here, because I had to learn about this, because I have stayed away from H.P. Lovecraft. Not just because I'm scary, but I don't be dealing with racists. Why? Why would I do that? Why would I do that? It was so... Anyway, child, and my bicycle helmet flattened my throat, but that's a whole nother story. Okay, so reparative reading. Queer theorist Eve Kosofsky-Sedgwick's concept of reparative reading, in which marginalized audiences find sustenance in works which seem hostile to them on the surface. So that's part of it. But then also, we have an interview with Tanya Huff where she lets us know why she did this, besides really liking the book or the book series Widdershins. Jordan L. Hawk is a trans man, by the way. And so that's why I'm like, Jordan, what are you doing, Jordan? H.P. Lovecraft would have had your head on a spike. But Jordan, as well as people like Tanya Huff and N.K. Jemisin, who everybody knows is freaking amazing, all have similar things to say. So let's see here. Lovecraft was famously racist and sexist, which is reflected in his fiction. With Direct Descendant, you join a growing number of writers, Victor Laval, Ruthana Emrys, Matt Huff, to name a few, who are reclaiming some of Lovecraft's ideas and making them into something new and wonderful. Do you have a theory regarding why Lovecraft stories continue to influence and inspire contemporary authors? This is Tanya Huff now. I think it's because there's so much there. His mythos has a richness and a deep and possibly most importantly a flexibility that allows it to be reclaimed. Almost all of his writing was short stories, and short stories by their very nature concentrate on a single idea that leaves a lot of space for expansion. Why not reclaim something that has so obviously lingered in the psyche, strip it of the racism and sexism, and allow it to haunt a whole new generation of readers? And my goodness, I'm glad that she did. I'm glad that Nora K. Jemisin, I keep saying Nora, I'm sorry, N.K. Jemisin, that's her name, but I keep saying Nora like I know her. Let's go ahead and see what she has to say about it as well, because she won a Hugo Award. It says 3 years in a row. It was 4 years in a row, baby. 4 years in a row. I don't think anybody else has done that. Just Nora. N.K. Jemisin, excuse me, N.K. Jemisin. Okay, let's see. Writer N.K. Jemisin has won the Hugo Award 3 years in a row. This was before her novel came out. That one, it made it the 4th time. She wrote a Lovecraft-inspired novel, The City We Became, as a critique of Lovecraft's overt racist rhetoric. However, her explanation as to why this novel was so important to her can apply to many queer audiences as well. To quote Jemisin, I was choosing to engage with Lovecraft's fear of the city, his sense that these diverse people brought a bad energy to it. My take was, of course they bring an energy to the city. All people do. He perceived it as evil, but really, it's just life. She goes on to say more and more. There's a whole other article that really gets into it. If you guys are interested, please let me know, and I'll put it in the little question thing, in the discussion box. Also, please remember to like the page. Please like the page so that other people can join in on this awesome discussion that we are about to get to, okay? Also, go on and share the live stream. We'll just keep that one going. Share the live stream out if you have not done so already. If you have, thank you. I saw somebody did it. I appreciate you. If you have not, go on and share it so that everybody else can join in the fun along with us. Okay. Let's see. Where are we? You see, I'm trying to keep myself on task this time, y'all. Okay, we've talked about the themes. We're getting to the themes. Let's see. Oh, okay. So, we've talked about H.P. Lovecraft and how he get on my dang nerve. Okay, so now let's talk about our main characters. We've got Cassidy Prewitt, who is from Lake Argent, and then we have the PI, who is Melanie Prewitt. So, Cassidy Prewitt is... basically, she's a rich girl. I wouldn't necessarily say she was spoiled, but she does not want for anything. She's wealthy. She comes from a two-parent household. She's lived in Lake Argent her whole life. She's the town baker. She's a lesbian. She runs her business with her best friend, who is also gay. He's a black bald baker. I just wanted to say that because I like alliteration. But it's also true. And she's very principled. Basically, she's just a small-town girl living in a small-town world. And she's kind of coasting by. She doesn't want for anything, so she doesn't really have to do it. I mean, she literally, if she wanted to stay home and eat all those cookies she baked and never sell them, she'd be just fine because of that deal her ancestors made with the dark. Who is incredibly funny? Who I find incredibly humorous. Let's see, what is that? Who I find incredible. Ooh, that, when I do that, I had to make sure I'm in the light. Get into the light, Carol Ann. Anyway, I find her to be incredibly likable, even though, what does this do? Oh, I like that better. Even though she seems a bit shiftless. Okay, so let's compare her with Melanie Slovich. So Melanie is a former teacher. She's working class. She lost her job. Hold on, let's see. She lost her job because she was standing up for trans kids at school. They were going to do something horrible at school to the trans kids. I think make the teachers disclose the kids' transness to their parents, or search in their, check their genitalia or something gross and weird to little children that you shouldn't be doing. Something along those lines. Anyway, let's see what else. She is also principled. She would be described as quote-unquote woke. And I hate using that way because that's not, hold on. That's not what it means. That's not what it means. I am the ethnic group. I am of the ethnic group. I am a Black American, and we're the ones who came up with that term. And it does not mean what everybody currently thinks that it does. It means to stay woke to the circumstances that oppress you, so you don't turn out like your raggedy oppressor. It does not mean what people are saying it means now. That the people who changed the meaning hired some weird consultant to make everybody hate thinking about other people besides your own self. That's literally it. And yes, I'm authority on what it means because it comes from my people. So I know what it means, and I am right. There. Okay, so let's see what else. What are we talking about? Cassidy. We're talking about Cassidy Yates and the difference between her and Melanie Slovich. Let's see. Melody is very principled as well. She's also a very hard worker. She does not come from a two-parent household. Her and her mother are poor. Her mother lives in an apartment. When Cassidy lost her job, she had to go and sleep on her mommy's couch in Toronto. And so Melody's mother is a waitress in a diner. She's also an activist. That's probably where Melanie gets a lot of her, Melanie, where she gets a lot of her spark from. So, they yin and yang each other very, very well. Where Cassidy is a bit shiftless, Melanie is determined and has a vision and sticks through it. Where Cassidy is wealthy and has a two-parent household, Melanie is working class and has a single mother. Let's see what else. I think where it counts, though, they're both principled and they're trying to do the right thing. And they both believe in community. And I think that's really important. So that is the basis that they try to build their relationship on. Anyway, Melanie's mom overhears this lady talking about how her grandson has come up missing, and so she suggests that Cassidy go and investigate. She tells the lady, hey, my daughter can do it. She can investigate. The lady's offering $10,000. In the opening of the book, some man is going to the dead ground, which is one of the spots in Lake Origin where that is a weak point for the dark to get through. There's 4 of them: the graveyard, the dead spot, the basement, and hold on a second, friends. The lake. Okay. So anyway, Cassidy is one of the main components of the dark. The dark has 4 components to itself that it kind of inhabits people. 4 different descendants of the people who made the agreement with it a long time ago. There is the mouth, the hands, the ears, and the eyes. Cassidy is the mouth. Aunt Jean is the eyes. Eric is the ears, and I done forgot that girl's name who's the hands. She's a little bit of a ditz, but God love her. Bridget are the hands. Are the hands? I cannot remember. I don't know which one it is. But anywho, that's that. Okay, so they have to they keep an eye on these weak spots between our world and the darkness's world per the original agreement. We'll get to that agreement in just a minute. And so Cassidy's going to check out the dead ground. That's the easiest one that anybody outsiders could get to. And she sees this guy, and she sees him, and he has this knife in his hand, and he takes it. Now, she does try to get to him, but she cannot. There's like some force field keeping her out. He takes this knife, and he stabs himself in the foot, and then he disappears. And so Cassidy's like, oh no, what the heck happened? So they have to ward off the police because there's going to be an investigation because somebody came to town. He checked in to the local motel, which is run by Arthur Nolan, who is an incomer. Incomers are people who the folks in Lake Origin call who were not born there. If you come in, like, you can be an incomer who just comes in of your own accord, or you marry into a family or a person who's already been in Lake Origin. Anyway, they have to do a missing persons report because this guy has checked into the hotel run by incomer Arthur Nolan. And he runs the Lake Origin Motel. He's not really friendly, but cats like him, so boop, 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 boop. Anywho, so they have to figure out, okay, how are we going to dissuade they call them the OPP. That's some Canadian term. I think it just means the cops, basically. Like the provincial people who come and check out mistakes and stuff. So Cassie uses her voice, or uses the voice, to tell him, hang on. Oh, we are already there. Boop. Cassie uses the voice to tell the cops, hey, he just went hiking and he got lost. Maybe fell into a ravine, a crevasse of some sort. And they believe her because that's what the voice does. The voice tells you what to do, can tell you what, it can make you believe things. And that's and as we find out later, that whoever the voice is of the 4 people who are the servants of the dark, who deal with things, who do the dark's bidding, who the dark inhabits to communicate with the rest of the town, according to the agreement, the voice is the most powerful because the voice can tell you what to do and you just do it. And when Cassidy finds out halfway through the book, she gets real mad. Like in this page right here, where is it? Somebody's talking about they're the most powerful of the 4, blah, blah, blah. Oh, because they can be commanded. Because Cassidy is the voice and she can command the other 3, she is the most powerful. And she's never done it, though. She's been the voice for 18 months. And the reason why everybody kept that from her is because the previous voice, Simon, was doing some shady things. And he was commanding people to forget things that he had done or whatnot. And so Simon died. He didn't really die. The other one with a backhoe or something. To that too much. But they got him up out of there because you cannot have the voice being somebody who doesn't have any morals or brought up right, brought up ski. What is going on with this screen? Oh my goodness, y'all. Anyway, let's bring this back and put me down little since the green screen back here is all weird. Okay, so, anywho, so Travis Braden is the guy who S-worded himself. They say sacrifice, but they say S-word, kind of like how people online say R-worded or great or something like that because they don't want to be censored. In their case, being censored, saying the word sacrifice in their town with the dark around and kind of listening, somebody might get sacrificed. Something bad could happen. So that's why they don't be saying it out loud, because they don't, ooh, that just made my whole face disappear. There we go. Because they don't want the dark to get mistaken and think that they're asking for a sacrifice. Because the dark will, part of it was, she demanded an audience with the dark. Anybody can talk to the dark in that town. That's what the four people are there for. The four that serve the dark or that are inhabited by the dark are always somebody who is a direct descendant from the original 13 people who made the deal with the dark. So they are kind of like people who won a contest that they did not necessarily enter, so to speak. Anywho, the dark, I think, is hilarious. This little girl was asked the dark, how do I get so-and-so to become my best friend? And the dark was like, well, have you tried consuming the enemy of your blood with her? Or something funny like that. And then she asked him, would a hangnail do? And the dark said, yes. And so, anyway, the dark is hilarious. And Cassie explains to Melanie later that the dark is not evil. It's just different. It's just different. Anyway, I digress quite a bit. But, okay, so, let's see. Keep myself on digress talking about stuff. So, we've talked a little bit about class divide and sacrifice and community and whatnot. All right, so we've talked about the main characters and whatnot. The other thing I wanted to talk about was why, because I've seen this a lot of queer folks really, really like horror. Again, I didn't get that. I didn't understand what was going on. And there's a lot of queer representation in horror as well. Let me see if I can't find one of my quotes. Let's see. Okay, so horror is a way to, we're going to also talk about the other a little bit. And we should also talk about, where is that one, child? Because I had a whole thing on Rocky Horror. Is he even in here? I think it is. This is, wait. Hold on, friends. Hold on. Here it is. So let's talk about the Rocky Horror Picture Show and its influence on queer folks, because that's really relevant here as well, and why there is so much queer representation in horror. First of all, let me do this real quick, because I might have to share a screen. Hold on one second, friends, while I'm pulling this up and going to a document, because I wanted to show you something. So while I'm doing that, I'm going to pull this thing up and we're going to talk a tad bit about, sorry, there's something blocking my vision. Where is it? Oh, it's probably way down here. Okay. So for a long time, child, here we go. Okay, so for a long time, a lot of villains have been queer coded, and that means somebody who is not out and out says that they're gay, or is the character is written as gay, but they are queer coded. Part of that has to do with Hollywood's standards of what could be put on film from the 30s and 40s. And so they didn't want to see no gay people on the screen way back in the day. And so they would queer code them. And a lot of times you'll know who's gay, because they're almost always the villain. And especially, for some reason, they pick purple. And they call it quote unquote sissified, and that's what they call it. That's not what I'm saying. I'm finna share this screen so you can see what I'm talking about. Share. Look at all these queer-coded purple villains. There go Ursula. There go Lady Tremaine, Cinderella's stepmama lead. See her purple neck right there? There is Jafar from Aladdin with his purple eyeliner and stuff. Who was Scar is also Dr. Facilier. There goes Yzma from The Emperor's New Groove. Is it The Emperor's New Groove? Crump pulled a lever. There is that Lion King guy right there from Robin Hood, Disney's Robin Hood. Let's see who else. There's Maleficent with her purple accents. There go Jafar. Look at him. Look at him. Let's see who else is that. I don't know who that is. Voxy Bunch. I don't know. I didn't watch that one. Who is that? Let me see. So yeah, and there is some character who was in Toy Story 2 or 3. It was a little bear. And the bear was what? Purple. Maybe a light lavender. But anyway, these are all the queer-coded villains. They're almost always the villain, and they almost always have purple. And once you see it, you cannot unsee it. I don't think that's supposed to be Dr. Facilier, but he's on here too. Another one, let me see if I can find where they're talking about how they quote unquote sissified them. What's his name? Shere Khan. Shere Khan from the Jungle Book is quote unquote sissified as well. Let me see. Anywho, I think you get my point. Let me come back over to here. All right, so I think you get my point. So, even Frankenfurter from Rocky Horror's got purple eyeshadow, and I think his bustier, or their bustier, is purple as well. So let me see what I've highlighted in here. Okay, so Rocky Horror is a transgender alien looking for acceptance. Simon, what is it? Rocky Horror is a story about a transgender alien, Dr. Frankenfurter, who has left his home planet looking for a place where his queer desires will be accepted. By openly displaying sexual humor and LGBTQIA2 spirit representation, Rocky Horror Picture Show sent a surge of liberation through the 1970s that continues to reverberate. Rocky Horror also addresses the feeling of isolation, a very familiar feeling to much of the queer community at the time. So a villain can be a decent representation. I'm not going to say that Rocky Horror isn't a bit problematic in spots, but you get the drift. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. It's amazing. Also, the thing about Dr. Frankenfurter is that they're fun, they're funny, they're alluring. They have depth and complexity, and when they're betrayed at the end of the film, the audience is gutted. So there's that. Let me see if I can find something else. Oh, because we were talking about the films and how I think characters are queer coded. So while the surface goal of the horror genre is to instill fear and suspense, one will be surprised to find there are many underlying political themes, especially when it comes to vivid congruence to queer culture. And as y'all remember from Buffalo Hunter, I learned that horror can be a theme for a much larger political stuff. I never realized that, y'all. It never occurred to me. I didn't realize it. Where is my... There we go. It never occurred to me. Never occurred to me at all. Because, again, I don't like horror. So I don't be thinking about it. So let's see. Let me see. Here we go. We're going to talk a little bit more about this. Then we'll get back to Cassidy Prewitt and them. Okay, so... So we're talking about Hollywood production code. There were moral guidelines as to what could be shown on screen. Any kind of queer or same-sex representation was forbidden. We've already talked about that. So many directors from this era use their monsters as a metaphor for their own quote-unquote perversions. So begins the introduction into the world of villainous queers. So again, I'm just really fascinated by this. I did a lot of digging and whatnot. The German expressionist film Nosferatu, which is basically Dracula. By the way, that is the all Pueblo read for October, November. It's not Dracula, it's Dracul. It is by a descendant of Bram Stoker, Draker Stoker. Anywho, come and check out a book because we've got a huge display of them already up. Nosferatu was directed by F. Murnau. It was speculated that Stoker was a repressed homosexual due to his almost sexless marriage and his extreme adoration of his male cohorts such as Walt Whitman, Henry Irving, and Hall Caine. Count Dracula was speculated to be the manifestation of his repressed feelings. Furthermore, it's intriguing that F.W. Murnau decided to create his own adaptation of the iconic novel in Nosferatu, as Murnau was an openly gay man. So anyway, for a long, long time, queer people have been seen as the villains. And why am I emphasizing this so much? Because Lake Argent is a home for people who don't always fit in elsewhere. Lake Argent accepts everybody. Let me see, where is that thing? Because Tanya Huff was talking about it. Hold on a second, friends. I've got to dig through my piles of research. What does she say? The people of Lake Argent. Oh, we're talking about the character Tagir, who was really, he's a cute, cuddly, eldritch horror with tentacles. He really was saying together. He was trying to tell them to fight together because his mouth was not made to form human words. They thought he was saying Tagir. They don't always understand what the death or what the dark is saying, because they're not human. Anyway, the people of Lake Argent feel that anyone should have the chance to be who they are. Just because you're an eldritch horror, you don't have to be an arrogant elder god who feels humanity is less than the slime beneath what passes for its feet. Maybe you like cuddles and cupcakes and bubble baths. Who's to say? Small, tentacled lizard/sloth killing machines need to be given a chance to show their gentler side. So, anywho, I thought that was cute and funny because Tagir did sound like a cute little baby cuddle thing, and he did seem cute. Another thing that I wanted to talk about. What time is it? Okay, we got about 15 minutes, maybe a little bit more. I'm gonna say 20. And then we'll wrap it up. Let's see. Another thing, so Lake Argent is a town that is really accepting of people. I mean, I guess after you've had to deal with an eldritch horror, what is somebody's sexuality? None of your business. That's what it is. And I think that's why it works so well. The town works so well. Also, they've already dealt with people who are in transition. They have, I want to say about 2 or 3 people who have transitioned. Alice, she lives in the lake. Alice used to be a human being. Now she's a big giant octopus who was turned or transformed into that octopus by the dark to help guard the weak spot that's in the lake. Then there is, he used to be a vegan. He is kind of like Bigfoot with tentacle mouth, and he likes to eat blueberries and run around naked. I done forgot Victor. Is his name Victor? I feel like his name is Victor. He just transitioned into a guardian. So, he's still not used to it, and he gets scared sometimes, and people, they'll call his sister, please come and help your brother, he's stressed out. And Victor is one of the people when Cassidy was trying to explain to Melanie what actually was going on, because I forgot to mention, Melanie has no idea, because the town makes people who are not from there forget the whole town once they leave. Why is the town doing that? Because it don't want to be bothered. So basically, I told y'all we was going to talk about the deal that was made. The deal was this: 13 men. 13 men came. Let me pull this up because I'm gonna get to the page, and I have it written right here. 223. Let's talk about this deal. Why is it way over here? My goodness, y'all. I skipped that. 223. Let's get to it. In return for sacrificing the investors, the brothers, cousins, friends asked the Dark to make sure there would always be plenty of silver in the mine to keep the town free of outside interference. Okay, so anyway, so the Dark did do that, but instead let's see. The Dark took them, but the whole place that they were in burnt up. They had already had the families of the 13 men, the women and children, leave to go as a diversion to go look at the clear night skies or something. So anywho, they took advantage of. Hang on a second. It was about 200 years ago that the deal was struck. Let's see. I'm trying to find it. Anywho, the widowed ancestors, or the widows took advantage of the Dark's good mood and renegotiated the agreement, making the safety and comfort of their families as important as continuing the silver. So anywho, why am I bringing that up? I done lost my track of thought of, because I remember now. So, I thought it was really interesting how the men who were the original people who made this agreement with the Dark, Cassidy Prewitt's male ancestor, the founder of this Lake Argent town, found the mind and somehow found the Dark. She doesn't know how. They have all these journals from the previous servants of the Dark, but nobody says specifically. Anywho, he convinces investors to come. He had his house built over one of the weak points to the Darkness's world, and it was in the basement. And so he thought, I'll sacrifice these investors to the Darkness. We'll keep all of our money. He got 6 of his friends together, and then all these other investors. And he's like, we'll sacrifice them, then we'll take their money, and then we'll keep getting the silver. And guess what? Sometimes the hole that you dig for somebody else, you fall in, and that's what happened to him. So that is the betrayal. We've talked about class divide, and that's how Lake Argent is so rich and whatnot. Also, there is well, that's gone. There is, the other thing that I liked about this book, I'm going to see if I can get it, is, I did it, y'all. Hey, is the diversity. The town is diverse. The founding people are diverse. And I did all that scrunching, and I can't find what I was trying to show y'all. There is a First Nations there. Wait. I think it's here. Is it on here? Yes. The First Nations is called the Matagami. They're real. I had never heard of them before because they're in Canada. And they live about 50 miles from Timmins. That's where I was going to say reservation, but I don't think they call them reservations in Canada. But that's where their territory. I'll say that. Excuse me, Matagami Nation friends and relatives. I'm sorry if I'm messing it up. I don't mean to. Please forgive my colonized mind. I'm working on decolonizing it. But yes, they are an actual real First Nations, and they are about 50 miles outside of Timmins. That's really, really far away in Canada, by the way. The geography for a lot of Americans might be something a little bit hard to wrap yourself around. Just know that Timmins is about a 6 to 8 hour drive from Ontario. It's really, really far away. It's an isolated town. Timmins is, but Lake Argent is about 3 hours, they said, or so away from Timmins. So it's isolated, it's secluded, and that's the way they like it. Okay. Oh, we were talking about acceptance as well. So I think the folks in Lake Argent can accept queer people or gay people. I'm going to say queer because it covers everybody. And that LGBTQ, that's alphabet soup. And I'm not trying to be mean or nasty. I am a member, as you all well know. So we're just going to say queer because it's quick. All right. Let's see. And I don't know if Tanya Huff put those protectors in as a allegory to trans people, because in the series that she is giving a nod to, Widdershins, there's all kind of protectors there as well. That book is also queer too. I really, really enjoyed that as well. I hope y'all read it. We do have it. We talked about the other quite a bit because I am fascinated by that, because I'm like, why the hell are y'all people who H.P. Lovecraft wouldn't spit on if you was on fire? Why are y'all taking his stuff and writing about it and making stories about it? I'm glad they did, because you know what? I know H.P. Lovecraft is looking up at us and he is mad, stomping his little foot in his new hometown. H.E. double hockey sticks. That's what you get for being such a hater. Let me see. So Cassidy and Melanie really like each other. They hit it off right away, almost quickly. That was one of the critiques that a lot of people had about the book, is that Cassidy and it was insta love, fell in love with Melanie too fast, too quick. And I'm just like, child, y'all don't know no lesbians. I know you don't, because lesbians be doing that. That whole U-Haul joke, it's a joke, but it's also kind of true. Let me be quiet, though, before I say too much. Get myself in trouble. But it is kind of true. Why am I saying this? Because, again, I think that Tanya Huff, who's been married to her wife since forever and a day, is banking on that. She wrote this book for queer people. That's why a lot of the people who had negative things to say about it, they're like, I got an art copy of this book, and I gave it a star or 2 stars. I didn't like that they fell in love too quickly. I didn't like this and this and this. And I'm just like, baby, that's a Tuesday. That's any day ending in Y amongst queer folks. So I think that's why they missed it. I think that some of the quote-unquote themes and tropes they were not familiar with, especially the other, especially villains being the good guys or being misunderstood. Let's talk about community a little bit more and trans disclosure, because Cassidy had to explain to Melanie what was going on. That's not something you just come out and say, oh, by the way, the reason why Thomas Braden or Travis Braden disappeared is because we are sitting on top of a gateway to an eldritch horror. And anyway, Travis was trying to go over there and cause problems and raise an army of darkness to take over the town. He did that because his granny married into the family 175 years ago or something, and then she left and the town made her forget, but she had like some kind of psychotic breakdown and electroshock made her remember again. So she engineered her grandchild. She had a son. She made him get married. She learned sorcery, and she engineered this baby to be obedient to her. She learned how to poison people with the tea and make them compliant to her wishes. So she'd been using glamour magic to make herself look young for 170 some odd years. Spoilers, forgot to say that. Anywho, there is certainly something behind the town's fascinating history. Near complete isolation and surprising prosperity. Something that the town is determined to keep from any potential incomers until they've earned the town's trust. And that, I think I was talking about trans disclosure. A lot of times people get mad at trans folk because maybe they go on a date with them or they're interested in them and they're flirting, and the trans person doesn't always tell whoever is flirting with them, hey, by the way, I'm trans. And just a sidebar for a moment, the reason why Cassidy did not tell Melanie is the same, what was going on in the town. It's the same reason why trans people don't always disclose right away. It ain't safe, baby. It ain't safe. The rate that trans folks get killed just for existing is astounding. And if I was trans and somebody came flirting with me, I wouldn't disclose it right away either until I made sure that they were safe and I was not in danger. You don't just reveal your truth until trust is earned. That's what I wrote. That's my own notes. And so Melanie was mad because she thought that she was being manipulated, and she didn't realize that Cassidy's commitment to her community was so strong that she would betray her to protect them. And everybody's commitment is that strong in Lake Origin. Let me see. There was something that I had highlighted. Anywho, let's keep. Oh, here it is. Everyone in town is determined to do their duty to serve the town and make a real and really supportive community. It's a lovely place. It's a weird little town and it's creepy, but it's their little creepy town. Even the little kids, they get little merit badges for going after little bits of the darkness that slip out of the cracks. And they use lights to kill them and lightsabers to stab at them and stuff. Anyway, to wrap this up, Travis Braden, at the behest of his grandma and the torture and manipulation, goes to the dead ground, stabs himself so he can get to the other side of where the eldritch horror, the dark cosmic monster lives, into their world. He then starts to rally up those little creatures that keep escaping. He's rallying them up to raise a darkness to take over Lake Origin so that him and his granny can reap the rewards of the silver mine and maybe even make a new deal with the dark. Now, the dark does not like this because the agreement has been there for several hundred years. They have a rail line that goes way out to them that when everybody else's rail line got cut off or stopped, not theirs, because the dark fixed it. They have a Olympic-sized pool. They have a really good hospital. They have universal basic income. They have good education. I think I was talking about the Matagami. The Matagami First Nation people that live there, they'll go to the hospital. I think one person goes, they pick one child every 4 years to go to the high school there just to keep an eye on things. In the argument where Cassidy and Melanie are having their truth and reconciliation, because Melanie is on top of things, she did lose her job for standing up for those trans kids. You really think that she wasn't going to say nothing about people doing horrible things to First Nation folks? Well, she did. And she was like, so you really expect to tell me that the Matagami don't want none of that silver? And Cassidy was like, yeah, they don't want nothing to do with it. They said that was white people's business. They didn't make no deal with no devil or demon or other, because like I keep saying, the dark is not evil. It's just not light. It's dark. It's a different way of thinking, and you can't judge it by your own human standards. But the Matagami was like, baby, that's white people business, and we are staying out of it. And you can keep all the silver, because as we find out, when they made that deal with the darkness, now they're locked in. Now there will always be somebody who's a direct descendant of the original 13 people who has to be the hands, so they're super strong, or who can see things that other people cannot, because that's the dark going through them. Who can hear things? Eric can hear when somebody resonates with the town. That's why Cassidy and Melanie gelled so quickly, is because she was resonating with the town. Come to find out, she didn't never know who her daddy was. Her mama had said, hey, I met him at a protest or something. He left to go back to wherever he came from. I realized I was pregnant a few weeks later, and he was gone. I didn't know how to get in contact with him. Come to find out, Cassidy daddy is from Cassidy. Melanie daddy is from Lake Origin. There's this old man who swears up and down in the town in Lake Origin, who swears up and down that Melanie is his wife. He said, you look just like her, over and over. And that was the clue. And of course she looked like his wife, because that's his daddy granny. Wait, that's her grandma. She looks like her grandma. And so, of course, he kept thinking that, because he has dementia. Sorry, I forgot to mention that. He has dementia. And so, of course, he thinks that's his wife, because that's who she looks like. So, anyway, this story wraps up, and this is what makes it cozy. It wraps up with a happy ending. We find out at the very end, when Cassidy's mother is coming to visit her, that I say Cassidy, when Melanie's mother is coming to visit her, that Melanie's father is a descendant of the original 13. And so Oh, I skipped over the little battle scene. I'm trying to save something for y'all. Um, what's his name? Travis Braden does end up raising an army. Little cute Tagir was there to warn them. Hey, y'all need to get ready. The Dark kept trying to warn them. The Dark warned them through Alice, the giant squid, octopus, eldritch horror in the weak spot in the lake. The darkness sent Tagir to warn them as well. Melanie is the one who figured out what Tagir was saying. She was like, he's saying together. He is not saying Tagir. Melanie was a high school teacher. She taught English, I believe, and I think that her ability to critically think, and think on her feet helped them win the fight. So the army of darkness did come up out of those weak spots, and through Melanie's quick thinking, the town and all of the servants of the dark were able to drive back those usurpers, finally kill Travis Braden and his wicked granny, and Melanie and Cassidy are living in Lake Argent. Happy ending. The end. So anyway, I didn't tell you everything, obviously. I hope that you guys did enjoy this book as much as I did. I hope that you will read it if you did not get a chance to read it. Let me go on and tell you what the next book is going to be. Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot to tell you this part too. Oh, that's what I was trying to do. Chat this whole time. I just forgot how to do something. Okay, so if you really like this book, Direct Descendants, then you will like the book the whole series that it is a nod to. And that is Weirshins by Jordan L. Hawk. It's a really good series. We have the whole series as ebooks. We might still have a few as audio on Hoopla or Libby. You can even check the cloud library. I can't remember exactly, but I love that series. I thought it was good. It reminded me of like a gay paranormal Indiana Jones, basically. Also, I did not realize this until today, that N.K. Jemisin wrote that book, The City We Became, as a response to H.P. Lovecraft, Oh Wicked Self. That is also a H.P. Lovecraft eldritch horror book written by a black woman to counteract some of his vileness. Lovecraft Country is also, we have that as well. I think we have that as an ebook. It's also an HBO series that we have as a DVD. It is really, really good, and it takes that racism and turns it on its head. The main cast of characters in here are black, and they are fighting racist white people with the magic, with their magic. It's really, really good. I hope that you guys read that as well. And then finally, we have The Ballad of Black Tom by Victor Laval. We definitely have that book. We have that book right here at Lamb. It's on the shelf. I checked. And it is also, again, a nod to eldritch horror, H.P. Lovecraft. Ha ha ha. We done took your short stories and doing it better than you, as the case may be. And now let's talk about the book that we will be reading next month for September. Oh, you know what? Hold on 1 second, friends. I forgot to say this. We don't want to remove this from the stage. Hold on a second, friends. Let's do this. I forgot to say this. Happy Pride, happy Pueblo Pride. That's why I picked this book for this month, is because it is Pueblo Pride this month. So happy Pueblo Pride. Happy Pride every day, all day, till it's front and back, till we all get our rights and everybody is respected. But anyway, that is why we read this book. That, and because I thought the genre was amazing. I thought the story was amazing. I hope you did too. But anyway, happy Pride. So next month's book for Hispanic Heritage Month is, hold on, boop, boop. It's Lake Lore by Anna Marie McLemore. Let me just read real quickly the synopsis of this book. Everyone who lives near the lake knows the stories about the world underneath it. An ethereal landscape rumored to be half water, half air. But Bastian Silviano and Laura Garcia are the only ones who've been there. Bastian grew up both above the lake and in the otherworldly space beneath it. Laura's seen the world under the lake only once, but that one encounter changed their life and their fate. Then the lines between air and water begin to blur. The world under the lake begins to spill into the world above. If Bastian and Laura don't want it bringing their secrets to the surface, they have to stop it. And to do that, they need to work together. There's only one problem. Bastian and Laura haven't spoken in 7 years, and working together means trusting each other with the very things they're trying to hide. So that's really exciting. That is going to be the book that we do for next month in September. Let me get my face back up here. I hope that I see y'all. Come and check the book out. We have copies here at Lamb. It is also available as an audiobook. I had such a good time researching this book. Direct Descendants was cute. It was cozy. It was not too scary. Let me know if you want. I can create a list of cozy horror books so that those of us, if you are like me, who don't like to be scared, I don't like it. I don't want to read about gore and horror, even though I made everybody else read Buffalo Hunter Hunter. Cozy horror is right up my alley. And also, I am slowly learning. Thank you, Desi, because Desi, you have to remind me. I thought you didn't like horror, lovely. Half the books on your book club list is scary. I am learning that horror can be quite... It can be a Trojan horse to discuss other things. I have always had in the back of my mind, why do all these gay people like horror movies when we always the villain? Also, why do black people? I've noticed an explosion in the black horror genre thanks to what's that man name? Key and Peele. I forget which one he is. He's the one who let me not talk about nobody. Anyway, I think it's Jordan Peele. Jordan, that's his name. Jordan Peele. With all his different movies. Us. I think he might have did Nope. I think he's done quite a few. Did I say Us? The one with the tethers. I ain't seen it because it's scary. I ain't watching it either. I don't care if Lupita Nyong'o is in it or anybody else. I ain't watching that movie. It seems scary and I don't want to be scared. So no thank you. No thank you. Anywho. I will see you guys next month when we are going to be reading Lake Lore by Anna Maria McLemore. McLemore, not McLemore. That's that young man who is a rapper, I guess. Anywho, I think that's it. Thank you guys so much. Look how white my mask is. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I appreciate you, and I will see you next month. Goodbye.